What is going on? How is everybody doing?
Big up Friday. Come on, weekend.
Friday nights, and we're back with the live and uncut. It seems like ages ago since Monday. Do you think?
It's like the longest week we've had, I think.
Yeah, it's been a really hard week as well.
Busiest week I've had.
Yeah, I think the weather's got a big part to play in it as well.
Yeah, I agree. So have you got a lot of stuff done? Have you got on top of everything?
Yeah. Like it's been probably the worst week I've had, but one of the most productive. So yeah, really good. What about yourself?
Yeah, me too. I think that like today, for instance, I was so far behind myself trying to catch up. And well, I spoke to you earlier, and I was like all over the place today. So I had a really busy week, and today was the busiest day, but got so much done and really exciting stuff coming up for the salon, for the team, and yeah, really looking forward to it. So glad they've got it all started. So
amazing.
Yeah, so another one of these.
I know. So we can see the numbers going up. If you've got questions, pop them in the chat below, and we'll get them put to our guests. Make sure you subscribe to the channels, and I say channels because Ian has his Mindful Hairdresser. Like our pages, follow us on Instagram, and I will pass you over as usual to Ian Davis to introduce tonight's special guest.
I know I say this every week, but this is a really special evening anyway, because I have known Bruno, our guest tonight, for probably 20 years. We've worked together quite a lot. This is the second time for us to work together with a manufacturer. He represents everything I love about hairdressing in the UK. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He shoots from the hip. He's one of the most honest guys that you could wish to meet in the hairdressing industry. He says it as it is. He doesn't dress it up, and he only wants the best for everybody around him. And he's always like that. And he's just a great guy to have around. And now that he's joined our family at Joico, there's a big story behind that, but we'll get to that hopefully during the chat. But yeah, Bruno Giamattei of the Marc Anthony Group in Reading and in Henley and all around that area. And he's the guy tonight. And yeah, I cannot wait, because he's a great fun guy anyway. And we've already found that out just chatting to him now, right?
Yeah. Let's get him in.
Get him in.
Hello, mate.
What a build-up.
Hello. Right.
Was that a good intro? Was that a good intro? Oh, no.
Brilliant intro, Ian.
Oh, thanks. That's okay. I do my best. So I know that this is like, we've been planning this for a few weeks, Bruno. And funny enough, I've been going back about when we first met, which was with Wella, and that was for the Project 7 thing back in, wow, that was like 2003 or something. Yeah, amazing picture.
Yeah, many years ago.
And that team was good, because it was you, me, Anna Delicapagni, Martin Holmes.
Yeah, I won. Yeah, Martin.
And then it was Leslie Hunter.
That's right.
There was I'm trying to think of every Kai Wan. Yeah, Kai was, and everybody's kind of in their own way gone on to do really good things. But you have gone on to like unbelievable things. So,
you know, I didn't plan it that way, Ian. I've never planned my path, my career path. I've just basically got involved with people and put my head down, and I've always wanted to do the best I possibly could. And I just think doors open, you know, and people notice.
Yeah, I think, and I think your dedication to hairdressing and hairdressers is like massive. I think you've kind of, I want to take this now for Paul. So I think that you've done incredible things for the industry by just being an all-round nice guy and kind of wanting the best for everybody around you, whether it be your own team or people you're mentoring through like the fellowship, or just people you're aligned with, or you want them to do really well. So where does that come from? I mean, just as an open person, where does that come from?
Well, for me, my mantra, and it's always been, I learn, I share, and I learn some more. And with my team, it's always been about making them as good, or if not better than what I could have done. And like, for example, Dan and Elton, and even now I've got Susie and Jade, which are coming along into our art team. I'm building them up so that, you know, they're in their 30s, they're at their early 30s, 32, 33, and they can do everything I can do now. And in some things, they've excelled even further. But I tended to open the door for them. So whereas I was starting Fashion Week, doing catwalks at 34, 35, they were doing it at 22, 23. So because they were working alongside, I mean, the doors were being open. And I've never been one of these hairdressers who have kept things to myself. I share and I give 100% to everyone. Hence, that's why I had 4 fame teams that I mentored. And all of those, 5 fame teams that I mentored. So I had 20 of the guys. They're all really good friends and close. And they text me and message me. And, you know, a lot of them have got their own salons now. I mean, David Rees from Wales. David's, he's traveling the world as a GHD ambassador.
Yeah.
So I feel, as long as I've helped a little way on their journey, I've done my part. And they know I'm always there for them 100%, because that's how I always am with everybody.
Paul? Yeah, I mean, when I heard you coming on board with Joyco, I was super excited. I didn't know you personally. That crackling is terrible. Apologies for the crackling. We don't know what it is.
Come closer, Paul. Come closer.
Well, can you hear me?
It's less than closer.
Can you Paul, just about? Does it crackle when I talk? When I'm talking, I can't hear any crackling. I can hear it when you and Ian are talking.
Really?
When you're closer, it's less.
Oh, okay.
Well.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why there's crackling tonight.
Just speak loud and clear.
All right. So yeah, when you were coming on board, I was super excited because I didn't know you, but I knew that you said you had your heart on your sleeve. You spoke very openly, and I just wanted to see your point of view. I knew a lot of people who had been on the fame teams and you sort of along the way. And I just want, I mean, I think being so new to this industry and still in the team, it was something I just want to crack all the time. Just want to learn from everybody.
Yeah. Are you adjusting up, Paul? I actually think it's the weather, because I think we've got a storm coming over here in Wales. It's going to be thunder tonight, and I think it's the electricity thing. I think that's what I think it is. So Bruno, take us back to your beginnings, which is like in 1950 something, I think, wasn't it? No, we lost him now already. Has he frozen? Yeah. Oh my God! Right. So Bruno's frozen.
Let's just check the crackling now.
No, it's gone.
Can you hear me clearly?
Really?
Right. Okay. So yeah, there was something
interfering with Bruno.
Yeah.
You have to try to come back on.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a little insight to Bruno. So Bruno is somebody I've known for 20 odd years, and when there was a vacancy at Joyco for somebody to come in as a vision director or whatever they were. Bruno and I were chatting. He actually called me up and said, "Oh, Ian, you're with Joyco. What do you think about them?" And I said, "Oh, told him the truth, told him exactly what I thought, and bigged it up." And I put the phone down to him. And then,
right.
Hi, Bruno, back again. I'm just saying.
I can hear it. Sorry.
I'm just saying that when we first met, when you came on board with Joyco, is that I remember you phoned me. I was in the car and you asked me, what's Joyco about? What's it all about? And I just told you all the great things I loved about it. And I remember putting the phone down, and about 10 minutes later thinking, oh my God, he should come on board with us, and there's this vacancy and he should be taking this job. And I remember ringing you back and saying, hey mate, I don't want to tell you this, but I can get you in. I can get you to meet these people, and you should speak to them. And I said, I think they love you. I think they really love what you were doing. And you were like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's so surreal because I was already in talks with Danielle and Eric at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, but I couldn't believe it. I was like, so on the same page as you. I was thinking, oh my God, you were already there. You were already having those conversations.
I think timing is everything in your career. And like I said, I've only been with 2 other manufacturers, L'Oreal and Weller. And, you know, we all work to, you know, contracts. And I've been with Weller, you know, many years. And, you know, they helped me, and I hope I gave them 100% like they gave me and supported me. But there comes a time when I just think, you know, change is good. And I love a new challenge. And, you know, I said to my art team and the brothers, I said, I could see out my retirement here where I am. Actually, I want a new challenge. I want to do other things. And meeting Eric and Danielle, as you all know, they are such lovely, humble people.
Yeah.
And they sold me the story, and I just saw, you know, everything I do in business, my people that are around me are my friends, as well as being my business associates that help and support my business, i.e. the accountant. You know, my accountant has ridden London to Paris twice for leukemia with us, you know, Tim Newman. So, and it's like Marc Strani, who used to be my rep or my key accounts manager. He ride London to Paris. So they become your friends. And that's how I am in business. I want people to be my friends because you're stronger together. And that's always been the slogan. And I've said it many times at Joico.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah. Paul, what was your first experience when Bruno came on board?
I was just super excited, like I was saying, because I'd heard so much about you, Bruno. I'm having to mute Bruno while we talk because there's some sort of interference, and it seems to be clearer when we've got that. So, but I'll unmute for the answer. But I'd always sort of known of you and everything that was surrounding you and the Mark Anthony team and everything. But it was just when we first met was, I think it was at Laces, wasn't it? And when we had to do our presentations, and then we got talking about football, and you were telling me about your career, and then I was saying I played a bit of football, and then I think that's how, I don't know, we sort of just bonded over football, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, and then, you know, like I said, but now I'm with Joico. I just want Joico to be bashing with the big boys. And I've said it many times to Daniel. You know, when I first joined the company, the brand speaks for itself. The product delivers 100%. You know, and for me to change, you know, we average 1,000 clients a week. To change them over from a brand that we've been with for 18 years is quite a big decision to do. And
yeah,
you know, I'm kind of the matriarch of the family when it comes to making the big decision between the 4 brothers. And it was all on my shoulders. And they were, you know, even when we're getting closer and closer to do the jump, they were saying, are you doing the right thing here? Are we doing the right thing? And I'm like, yeah, 100%, this product works. I mean, I was playing with it 6 months previously in my salons. And the color intensity. And, you know, the cake, all these products, you know, there's nothing like it in the other brand I was using. I just found it phenomenal. And my clients now, they comment, and it was an easy changeover. The first couple of weeks or first 6 weeks, you get people saying, oh, have you still got my record? But once we changed them over and they realized their colors were lasting longer, you know, they were richer, they weren't color fading, they weren't losing the color fade. So it was a no-brainer. And now, you know, we're over a year in now. It was a year January, and it's been phenomenal for us. Phenomenal.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal for us as well, to be honest. You know, like you, Dan, Alton, you know, Marcus, all of the contribution. It just gives a deeper flavor, if you know what I mean, to the whole recipe of the team. So there's like and because you are always very open, very honest, and the way you come across and the way you there's, and I hate, like, no, I'm going to say there's just no ego with you. You know, you are who you are, and you know, and the thing is, you know who you are as well, which is even better. And I think before we came on, you said, I don't know if there's anything else I want to really achieve, because I set out to achieve all the things that I have, which is like, you know, a big statement to make. And I want to just focus on one of those things, and that is your time. Well, yes, you're still with the fellowship, but your view of the fellowship now compared to as when you started, and then what was the view like from being the president of the fellowship?
Yeah, that's a great question.
From like the beginning when you started making your way through to becoming president to where you are now as a past president, how does that journey look like?
Well, for me, I mean, I never intended, again, I basically, Terry Calvert, who was my, you know, one of my best friends, and he had a similar size salon group. So we used to talk every other day about how's business, how we doing, because he was Watford based and me Berkshire, so we were quite close. And Terry said, here, I'm going for, he basically just, you know, how, if you know Terry, he's quite laid back. He was like, here, Bruno, I'm going for presidency for the fellowship. I said, really? He said, yeah, I want you as my president, my vice president. I said, Terry, I'm not interested. So anyway, he moved the story on. He ended up announcing me as his vice when I told him no. And I became his vice president for 2 years. And the second year, he said to me, could I take over the fame team? And he said, I feel the fame team is the fellowship's golden nugget, if you like. And I want it to, you know, be the brand that everyone aspires to, and all the young people want to be a piece of it. So there was a girl at the time that was running the fame team, Dawn, I can't remember her surname. She was doing a great job. And it was handed over to me. And I basically just spun it on its head and made it totally different. Like they, for example, had 5 dates a year in salon and their Australian trip. Well, I made them have 1, possibly sometimes 2 dates a month. That I used all my contacts in the industry because I know everybody. So I get them a day, you know, with Darren Ambrose, a day with, you know, Errol, all these people, and I'd get everybody to do it. And I would go along there and help them and support them. So it was quite good for me as well, because I was learning little tricks from these top hairdressers. So it helped my box of tricks as well. I mean, I remember the day with Angelo Seminaro, you know, I had the Olive Tucker team, and they were like, I think Olive shook for the first hour before she actually did any hair because it's Angelo. And then, you know, I remember because I was a Sebastian advocate and we were in LA a lot, Robert Labetta became a good friend. So he happened to be in the UK, and I remember getting a team to listen to Robert, and Robert said, I won't do hair, I'll just talk. I said, that'd be brilliant. And we sat in the studio for about 4 hours just listening to his stories, which were absolutely, as you can imagine, phenomenal. And then we finished up, and I said, right, I'm going to take the guys for lunch now. He said, okay. And then as all the girls and guys went round the corner to the pizza place, just off Mortimer Street, he said, where are you taking them? I said, oh, I'm going around the corner for pizza. He said, do you know what? I'll join you. I said, brilliant. So I ordered this big glass of red wine, and they were all on their starters. And then Robert walked in and sat down with us at the table. And as you can imagine, they were just like blown away. They couldn't believe that, oh my God, Robert Labetta, he's having lunch with us as well. It was like, you know, and it's just things like that I did. And I always thanked every icon that worked. I mean, I call them icons. I don't like that word. They were my friends. They're like me and you, they're hairdressers. Yeah. I mean, people call them icons, but they just hairdress. They're my friends. They're hairdressers. And yeah, and I just took it to another level. And I did the 2 years. And then I was asked, could you do it for another 2 years? Because we just feel it's gone from here to there. So I said, okay, I'll do it for another 2 years. And then I did the 2 years. And then they said, would you do it for another 2 years? I said, no. I said, I'll do it for 1 more year, because they had no one that would take it up. And don't forget, it's a lot of time on my part, because I had to go to Australia every year for, you know, for the 5 years. I mean, that's, for me, it's hard work, because what people don't realise is the team are taken there, but before we go, and everyone thinks it's a jolly, I have to plan with the model agencies. I have to do model calls. I have to plan where we're going to prep hair, where we're going to get all the colours. So I have to work from this end. In Australia, being that their morning is our night, vice versa. So I was getting up at the crack of dawn, 4 o'clock, to sort everything out, calls and messages. And it's all at my own expense. You don't get any funding from the fellowship.
Wow.
It's just basically a pat on the back. Traveling into London, you don't get anything. It's all you. And I've always, when I left the fellowship, after I then became president, and that was, I'd finished doing the fame team, and they said to me, we'd like you to be president. And I said, no, I'm not going for it. And then they went and got Errol. And so I became Errol's vice president, which was great because Errol is a terrific guy and he's the most humblest guy I know in the industry. So then what happened when he finished, they said, we want you to go for presidency. I said, no, I'm not interested. And there were a couple of, I won't name names, but there are a couple of other people that were in the hat. And then I put my name in the hat because they kind of bent my arm. So I said, okay. And then they said, right, it's come down to you two people. And I said, well, actually, let him have it. And they said, well, no, we want you now to both write a resume. And I'm like, are you joking me? I've worked at this table for 7 years. I've given you my blood, sweat, and now you want me to write a resume. So the person wrote out his resume, and I literally put in a 3-liner, basically saying, if you don't know what you're getting from me, then you never will. Don't vote for me. And that was it. And then I was doing a show in Ireland with Patrick Cameron, and I was just about to go on stage, and Helen Ward has called me up, and she said, Bruno, please don't swear. I'm going to put you on loudspeaker. The whole council are here. I went, okay, thinking, what have I done? And she said, we've just had all the votes in from all our patrons, and they voted our new president. And I'm like, okay. And they said, we voted you. I went, fuck no. It was like an SL. And then me being president, and I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses, and not many people know this. And again, I don't hide nothing. Anne Herman knows this, and I think a couple of people. I basically thought, well, God, I've got to get up now in front of all my hairdressing icons and peers, which, like you and Paul do, it's okay doing it with my models and on stage and talking hair, but now I've got to get up there on one of these cues and speak, properly and eloquent to thousands of people in our industry. And I thought, oh my God, I was so nervous, and no one knew this because I was sworn in the April, but I knew I was actually told in the January that I was going to be president, and I had to be prepared for the April when Errol was signed off and I was signed in, and I had to do my opening speech. And I actually went online and I got these two guys. One studies at the Arts in London as a performer, and the other one is a speech person. And I paid a lot of money, and I had a week's training of how to project myself and how to speak eloquently. And, one of the tips, I'll never forget this, my first one at the fellowship, those pieces of glass that you're looking on where you've got all your script and everything's done. Well, when I did my practice run, it went up and I could see it, and I thought, yeah, brilliant. So I started saying, hello, ladies, gentlemen, fellows, and it started moving quickly. So I started speaking quickly. So I said, fellows and patrons. And I thought, it's going quicker. And I said, hang on a minute, this is going too quick. And they said, you have to speak slowly, and then it goes slowly. Like, oh, right, okay. So and then what I did, I learned from that, and I put my own full stops in so I could see it. So on my script, it was, hi, ladies and gentlemen, stop.
Yeah.
And then go again. And the one thing when I was having these lessons that they taught me, it's all about when you're on stage and when you're delivering, speak slowly. I spent a fortune, but the biggest tip I got out of it is speak slowly, because we all know, and I used to say this to my fame teams, and the other teams I've all mentored, because when we go up there, we got all the adrenaline and the nerves, and it's all, hi everyone, my name's Bruno, and this is my model, and blah, 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 and I'm going to do this, and you think, thank God, I've got it out, it's done. And actually, you haven't delivered the message, no one's really taken note, and it's gone. And now, when I do public speaking, I know I speak slowly, I do this, and I deliver. And when I did this course, they actually showed me people like Obama. And when you watch him speak, my God, that guy hangs out for seconds before he does the next sentence.
Yeah.
But what it does, it gets everyone off the chair and you're waiting for the next line, the next sentence.
I love that.
It's just, yeah, it was just things like that that I learned from them. And people, when I did my opening speech at the fellowship, I remember Edward Hemmings coming up to me and said, "Oh my God, that is the best speech any president has done when they've sworn in, and you're a natural." And I'm thinking, if only he knew.
Yeah.
I've actually done the training to get to this part because I don't want to be anyone's fool, you know. I don't want to look like I'm the silly person up there that's a mumbling hairdresser. So yeah, so I went and took lessons, and then when I left the fellowship, or when I was president, I was going to leave and I handed over to Corrine. And in my last meeting, Marc Maloney of the fellowship, under any other business, in front of the whole table, said, "Can I make a suggestion?" And he said, "I would like to ask the table their thoughts, and I would like Bruno to stay on for another year as president."
Wow.
And the whole table said aye, and yes, they would like that. And I said, "Look, guys, I can't. I've given you 9 years of myself and my business and my brothers, and I just can't do this anymore. And but I would still, you know, I'm here for you guys when you want to need me. You can just call me." And basically, from then they said, "Well, if you're going to go, then we want to make you our ambassador so that we can call on you." So as I handed over my regalia, as it's called, to Corrine, they announced that I am the ambassador for the British Fellowship of Hairdressing with Errol Douglas. So it's just the two of us. So,
Wow.
yeah, ambassador now.
Which that leaves me in a very privileged position, because when I said to you at XL, I don't know if you remember, we had breakfast at XL, and it was a heavy night before. We'd both been out, and we'd having breakfast, and I think I was early, and you were wandering and said, "Ian, is there anybody sitting there?" I said, "No." So you sat with me. And I said, "What's this thing with the fellowship then?" And you said, "Well, you're not a member." I said, "No, I'm not a member." "Oh, you need to be a member." I said, "Well, how do I do it?" "Hang on," you said. You went literally into your bag and you pulled out a form. We filled it in together at breakfast. And he said, "Oh, we need a seconder." I said, and literally, Errol Douglas is there. And you said, Errol, sign this for me." So I had you who proposed me and Errol to second me. So I've got the two ambassadors for the fellowship on my application. That's got to be something special, right?
Yeah. No, but I think the fellowship is an amazing organisation, and you know their mantra is they share and they grow young talent. And I think for example, I'll give you an example. Ashley Hodges came from a salon from her parents. I think there was only about 3 or 4 in their little salon.
Yeah.
And look what she is now. She broke into the fame team and she did amazing things. And now she's working for manufacturers, and you know, she's working at the fellowship. She has done excellent. So, you know, I think it's you have to be that person that wants to achieve these things. You know, my father always said you can drag the donkey to the trough, but you can't make them drink the water. You know, you've got to have the people that want to do what you want to do with them. And I've been lucky enough that all the teams I've had, they've all had fire in their belly and they've always wanted to push themselves to a maximum. And I think, you know, that's where I've been lucky, having the right people that have worked alongside me.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to touch on the fellowship thing for a second, and then we'll go on to how to work with brands. But a lot of people, when they're thinking you're just going to get up on stage and then you just produce, like you said, you had to invest in like all of those different elements to get you to where you want to be. And then people just were like, you're a natural, but you have to invest in yourself so much to be able to portray basically what that
natural.
Yeah,
that's the hardest thing.
I think me personally, I think this is where you've got to be honest with yourself, you know, because so many will try and wing it, you know. And I knew that I was not as eloquent or as good a speaker. And I used to watch people when I was at the fellowship, like Stephen Messias, Brian Willoughby, Kevin Arkle. And I think, wow, these guys are brilliant public speakers. And I was in their awe. And Stephen Messias, he could be on that stage and I could listen to him forever. You know, he was so eloquent. He was a gentleman. He had the ups and downs in his voice tone. He was just brilliant the way he presented. And I thought, I don't want to go up there and do the job, you know, poorly. I want to do it at the best I can. It all goes back to everything I do. I want to do it the best possible way. And so, yeah, I did invest. And I did tell, I think the only person that knew was Anne Herman. I mean, I haven't got, both my grands have died. And I speak to Anne on a weekly basis, even now that I'm not the fellowship. She is like my nan. And, but what I like about with Anne, and I've known her for many years from when I first joined the fellowship, like when I first did my first night on the stage, and there was Rush and there was Hob, and we were all growing together. And I'll never forget, some of my models were chewing gum, and she pulled me to one side and told me off. And I think she's always been honest, and you will always get a straight answer. And so many people respect her within our industry. You know, she's a phenomenal lady, and she's in her mid-90s now. Yeah. It's crazy. And we'll still telephone her. I know Errol Douglas is on the phone to her, and many people still to this day go to the queen of what I call hairdressing to ask her advice.
Yeah, no, amazing advice. And a lot of the questions we get weekly is about that people on stage, they make it look so natural, but they don't really understand how much work you have to put into making it look natural. And
yeah, go on.
And well, it just led me on to another question we get asked a lot is do you get to work with brands? So you were just talking about Ashley Hodges, who I know her salon's like in Toaster near me. But how do you get to that next level and then keep on getting better?
Again, Paul, honestly, I never, how it came about for me is started entering competitions. And I think that comes from the football. I always was a winner and I wanted to win. And when I started entering hair competitions and I started to win, like basic NHS competitions, and we started getting good wins. And Weller had this event at the studio one year where juniors entered, first year stylist, senior stylist, and there was about 5 different categories. And Marc Anthony went in for it all out. And on the night at the studio in Mortimer Street, we got first, second, a first, a third. And it was like, and the host towards the end said, oh my God, it's Marc Anthony again. And we smashed it on this particular evening. All my team got first or second. I think we had 1/3 in one of the categories. So everyone came somewhere. And then I was approached by Weller and they said, look, we really like what you do. We'd like you to become one of our teachers. And that's how it kind of came about. And I don't know if Ian remembers a woman called Evelyn.
Yeah.
6'2".
From Sebastian.
Yeah, exactly. From Sebastian. And they said, we want you to become a Sebastian advocate. And you've got to go to the States and train with this lady. So I spent 10 days in the States training under her on presentation skills and everything and learning about products. And that was where it all began for me, really. And there was a guy, what's his name? Big chap that was he was the main man at Sebastian at the time. I can't remember his name, but his son ended up managing for Hob.
Michael Posnelli?
No, he was a big stocky rugby player chap.
Oh, Bob Stanley.
Anyway,
Bob Stanley.
Bob Stanley. And once I became in the team, he took me then 6 months later back to LA as the main team. And in that team then was where I first met Lara Johnson, because she was in the team. There was me, Robert Eaton, Kevin Carnes, Jamila Paul, a few others. And that's where it all developed for me. And we went out there. I went out there for 6 or 7 years on the bounce, going to the big Kodak Theatre, these amazing shows with Robert, where you can imagine, you had all the countries that did Sebastian congregated to this one event, and it was amazing, incredible. And then when it got sold to P&G, they kind of moved me from Sebastian as an advocate, and they put me into the system professional portfolio, where I had to learn all that brand. And they gave the Sebastian then was with Shay and Sean Dawson at the time, and I took over the Sebastian side. Sebastian side, system professional side, and I became their system professional ambassador. And I used to do seminars all around the UK and going abroad, and it was all about gaining, the big gun accounts like the L'Oreal's and all these accounts and getting them across. So my job was poaching these people in the evening, doing these seminars, spending time with them, and getting them to come across. And that's what I used to do.
Yeah, I kind of I went to LA. It was LA, the place you were talking about. It was called LA's the place, and I did it for like 7 years on the bounce. I think I finished and you came in just as I finished, because I remember Jamila was on my last trip. Kevin Kahn was on my last trip. All those guys were coming in, and I was leaving, and I remember LA's the place being quite a big event, but there were so many. I met Evelyn Grube, Tara Weeks, Diane Barbera, all the great Sebastian people were there then. That was an amazing time to be around. But I remember then, like maybe 7 years after that, when you kind of went into system professional, you were probably there for 2 years before they then did the Project 7 team. And that's where we really first met, was then, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I think most hairdressers, the one thing we're all good at is socializing and mixing. I don't think I've come across many hairdressers which are a bit, on their own and don't want to mix with anybody. Everyone wants to be in a mix, and I think I've been at many bars where hairdressers can socialize and drink the bars dry, as you know, Ian. So, I think we're good at sharing, and I think hairdressers, our old industry is looked down upon by a lot of other industries and people. And I think we are the most friendliest, we are out there, we are real, and we are true. And I think what we offer youngsters that come into our industry is an amazing career. If only they would open their eyes and get past the sweeping the floor in the early days and see the opportunities that you can achieve. Because I think this industry, it wasn't my first choice. Football was my first choice, but it's been unbelievably kind to me. Yeah, I've had to work hard, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. And I feel now I'm in a position where I can give to others. And I always say to Dan and Outing, for you to show you're as good as me now, I want you to make Dan and Outings. Yeah, because I've produced quite a few Dan and Outings along my path. But now that is the sign of a good teacher, a good instructor, for you to share everything you've got and make people better than you. Because I compliment Dan and Outing, like I say they're better than me now at certain things they do. And I always use that scenario, there's the gorilla in the jungle, but these are the young ones coming up to take my crown type of thing. And I've helped them all the way, and I would never be jealous or envious of their success. I push them 100%. In fact, I was really upset at the BHAs last year because it was Outing's fourth straight nominee for Southern, and I thought he possibly had a great chance, and he never got it. And he takes it. He's got a heart, and he was upset on the night. But you've got to move on. You've got to be bigger than that, and you've got to grab your tools and think, you know what, I'm going to come back stronger, and I'm going to do it again. And that's the attitude that I used to have. And going back to football, if we were losing, because I've got to many cup finals, if we were ever losing, and no way we were going to get back from it, the last 10 minutes, I was normally running the mid, and I'd say, look, let's make these guys go home painful. Let's hit them. Because that's how it was. I said, let's make sure that tomorrow morning, win or lose.
I was just going to say that one of the reasons I was mentioning going back to about Sebastian was that when I was there, and you were saying about some of the people the times you spend with, Robert Eaton, who you mentioned earlier on, I babysat him in LA for his very first trip. He was 19, and he came along And Bob Stanley had sent him along, and he said, Ian, will you look after this young lad for me? He's never been before. He's really quiet. And I looked after him. And then we did the LA's the place trip, and everybody from the UK went home. And me and Robert stayed on for another week. And we worked with Jericho on this masterclass he was developing. And me and Robert stayed for that. And Robert and I have stayed friends wherever we are. In the same room, we'll always head for each other. He's like you. He's like a miniature version of you. He's always very open, very honest.
Family.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Family, and his father is just, you know, they're an amazing family. His dad is a terrific guy, and you know, deserves all the success he gets. And to be the youngest, I think he's the youngest British hairdressing winner in history, and to win it his first time, it's just phenomenal. And you know, he does beautiful work. You know, total respect to him. And the guy's a gentleman. Wherever you go, you know, people speak highly of Robert. He's a total gentleman, 100%.
Do you want to? Oh, Ian, sorry, mate. Go on.
No, you with Robert. You said you never hear anybody say anything negative about Robert ever. He is just always one of the nicest guys you could ever speak. And he never has a off day. Sometimes I could be a moody man. You know, I could be like, Robert's always the same. He's never moody. He's always the same guy. What's that?
I only get moody when they leave me behind at the hotel.
Ah. Well, you know, you snooze, you lose.
So, Bruno, can you tell us a little bit about your product range? So,
yeah.
You've recently launched that, and it's like really interesting. So,
with Teo Hair Products, it stands for the art of hair, Teo, and people think it's only just launched. I actually started this project late 2013, 2014, and we took the first oil was our first product, and we launched it in October 2016. And then in the January, I launched the shampoos and conditioners and masks and the whole range. It's a small range of 11 products, and it's now getting a little bit of traction. We're in quite a few salons. We made a few good deals in lockdown with companies. So it's a brand which I'm really passionate about. It's close to my heart because obviously it's mine, and I've been in the makeup of every part of it from the factory type of thing. It's not one of these products where people go out, sell their name, and then a company makes a product range for it and puts their name to it. This was actually me and a chemist coming together that had only worked on face creams and body oils and perfumes, and he was very high up in this company. And I said to him, would you be able to do shampoos? And he said, yeah, no problem. So we got together and we had this terminology as he was making the products. For example, the mousse. I would have all these mousses that he'd make and send them to me. And I'd say, Gavin, it's too sticky. He said, well, on 1 to 10, how sticky? I said, it's a 9 and it needs to be a 7. So he'd send me another mousse and it would be a 7. You know, the oil, it's too heavy, it's too greasy. How heavy? How greasy? Well, at the moment, it's a bloody 10. I need it to be about 6. Yeah. So and that was our terminology we used. And it went backwards and forwards. But what's good about this product, I've said it before, although me and Gavin made the product and it's all sulfate and paraben free, it was then put into all my 5 salons. And we had a 2-week turnaround and used all the products so that the clients would do a tip sheet and if it was good or bad. And when we had all boom, 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 we said, right, that's it. Everyone loves it. So we then went to production with it, and then it had to have a 36-week turnaround because you have to have heat, fungal, all these tests. Then you have to have it ticked off by the EU. So yeah, it basically from the end of 2013 to October 2016, you know, it was quite a lot of time spent getting it right before it went to market. And now I'm with one major distributor. I've just landed a distributor in Ireland and also Lancashire. So yeah, it's washing his face. It's not, you know, doing well as in making millions, but it's washing its face. And I know I'm in it for the long run. It's not one of these things which is going to make you millions overnight. It's a brand which I've got to build and spend time with, which I have been doing a lot of positive things in lockdown with the brand. So yeah, it's exciting. And it's another challenge, you know.
Yeah,
you always love a challenge. I can say that.
Yeah, I'll never walk away from a challenge.
No, I can say. And so in lockdown, we were talking earlier, you've been exploring multiple different things as well as growing your business and connecting with people and distributors. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about what you've been doing in lockdown, what other skills you've been doing and why you've been doing those things?
For me, lockdown, you know, we've got the WhatsApp group with our team, which I've got to admit, some of the team respond and some of them do not. So I could count on one hand how many of my team have actually asked how I have been, you know. But behind the scenes, me, my sister-in-laws, my brothers, we've been preparing all our salons. We've been getting all the PPE, going by all the rules and regs. But a lot of it, and I've been speaking to so many people in our industry, it's all hearsay. You know, we've been thrown this date, the 4th of July, which could be not. You know, we've been told we might have to screen, we might not. It might be 2 meters, it might be a meter. No one is positive and gives me definite answers. So, and then, you know, in my area, I was queuing up for Waitrose the other day and the barbershop was open and there was people arguing with them because they were open. So, and then on Facebook puts in, you know, I'm a mobile and I've never stopped working. And I just think, you know, they say there's a £4,000 fine out there if hairdressers are working. Yet who's going to implement it? And yet they're telling us to work 2 meters, or do we have to work 2 meters? You know, I just don't know until we get it in stone. And I've seen all these people, the hair and beauty and the barber industry, put projects out and they've given you details on Gov.org. But for hairdressing, if we cannot work at a meter, we will not be able to perform and bring in the revenue we need to cover our rents. And I've spoken to so many hairdressers about this, and some hairdressers have actually said they want to go down the route and do, you know, staggering the hours and go from 8 till 2, closing out, and then open from 3 till 9. And I said, well, that's great. I said, because the ones that aren't working in the morning will be doing their home hair, and the ones that aren't working in the afternoon will be doing their home hair in the afternoon. So basically, as a society of hair salons or an industry, we'll be kind of adding to pushing our team to do mobile, because they can't earn the money if they've got to do one colour that comes in at 9 o'clock and they can't do anyone else. No one else can come in between. And then they have a next colour in at 11 o'clock. They're not going to be able to make the money. They will not make the money. And doing these staggered hours, I've got to bring my team back, and we've talked about it, 100% as normality as possible within the rules. And the salons are going to be cleaner, they're going to be divided with a few screens here and there. But it's got to be normality as much as possible. I mean, it was on the news last night, a hair salon owner and the guy who owns a restaurant. If he can't have back to normality as much as possible, then the government needs to keep us closed, carry on paying us furlough until we can come back to normality. Because what they forget is we're 8 billion towards the government. 8 billion is what the hairdressing over. 8 billion. I know my figures because I've looked at it. Now, if he says all of a sudden we got to go in half, what, they're going to knock off 4 billion and we only give them 4?
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. We've got to be able to go back and do what we do well. And all our clients want us. And I've got a local butcher, which is opposite my salon, which I support in Henley, and he's never been in lockdown. And I go in there once a week and he serves 4 people at a time, and I can touch the 3rd person in the queue. And he hasn't worn a mask or gloves, and he's been open all this time and never closed down. And yet it's a little butcher shop, a family butcher shop. And like I said, where is the distancing? The only time there's distancing is the 2 meter queue outside. Yeah. But then when you're all next to each other, you can touch each other. So I don't understand it. And it's crazy. And I think the government needs to be strict, and they need to give positive rules and regs to all of us so that we can open with normality. Because I put it on Facebook the other day. The issue is, someone said to me, what is the future of the business going forward? I said, the biggest step for the business at the moment is just opening your doors with the existing teams that we had when we closed them.
Yeah.
If we've done that, that's a massive achievement. And then we've got to look, the next 6 months is about rebuilding and trying to claw back 3 months of losses. So, I mean, I'm going back, or my company's going back, the directors, we're going back with a big debt on our shoulders.
Yeah.
We never had that.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of salons going back. Some are even going to come back. You know, people are putting on Facebook, I'm going to close the door and go mobile. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So, you know, this what it's done to our industry. It's quite sad. There's going to be a lot of, not just hairdressing, a lot of businesses which aren't going to bounce back from this.
Yeah. I mean, I put a video out yesterday, and I felt I needed to, because there's so many salons around the country, but again, local to my business, and they're all saying, right, we're booking from the 4th. This is what we're doing, and there was a lot of our clients wondering why aren't we booking from the 4th? And I just had to put a video out there just to say, because we've got no guidelines, no restrictions, no capacity measures. We don't know the distancing. We don't know anything. So why would I book in 10 people in a day when we could be restricted to 8? But not that we want to. But these are all the things that are going to possibly happen. But like you said, we want to be going back to work as normal as possible, because we can't carry the rent. We can't carry all the bills on half of the income that we're going to bring in.
No, I agree. I think one of the big things, Bruno, that I know you've been involved with is the fact that the insurance scams, or their partner, like, you have insurance for these type of things and then they're not paying out. And I think that a lot of people, myself included, have been stung by that. And I don't know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I always feel that the insurance companies almost waited for the government to close it down. So then if you had that clause in your contract that says, we'll pay you out for infectious disease, but not if the government close you down, which in effect happened. And I'm not sure whether that was a big coincidence or not, but I just think it's shameful that these big insurance companies are not supporting, especially independent businesses, for their losses right now, when you paid a fair premium in goodwill. You know, I think it's appalling what's happening. Can you tell us a bit about your fight against that?
Wow, gosh, my fight against the insurance companies has been massive. I've done everything to raise the profile about them, and I had a double page spread in the Daily Mail. I was on the TV, and I just feel, if we say to people, again, the hairdressing industry, we say to people, a cut and blow dry, and it's this price. That's what it is. This is what we do, and we do it correctly. When an insurance company has it in black and white that they are going to insure you against disease, virus, and it's in there, and now it's not covered. And then we're covered for closure if we're closed down by the government, and now they're walking away from that. I don't understand what part of is not the truth. And now we're going to court on the 15th of July, where hopefully they're going to be brought to the sword and made to pay and look after their policy holders. I mean, there is no more I can do. I've done everything I possibly can, and there's so many networks out there. Colette Osborne is one on Facebook, and everybody's building together, and they're all coming together to take on these giants. It is a David and Goliath scenario. But I've done enough, and then I've moved on and let it go now. It's at the back of my priorities. I think that's done. The 15th of July is when it's all going to come to fruition, a 10-day case, and we will know about 4 weeks after that. So I'm very one of these people. Once I've dealt with it the best I can, I don't dwell on it. It's gone now. I've moved on. People have phoned me saying what's happening. I've told them. Thomas Hill has phoned me today and asked me about it. It's kind of done. It's going to court, and that's it. So now it's gone. And I don't think there's anything we can do as the small person. The FCA now are dealing with them, and hopefully, like I said, they'll bring them to the sword. They've done it in France, and hopefully they will do it here in the UK, because there are so many businesses, not just me, but restaurants, Maison Blanc, for example, are taking them on, and there's so many small businesses which need that insurance to survive. And like I said, it's great that we've got these interest-free loans, but I'm going back now with this interest-free loan for a year, but it's a debt on my shoulders and on our director's shoulders. And my staff haven't got debts. They've still been paid, you know. And as a person, the owner, it's like, well, you're the boss, so you should have that responsibility. You should have that debt. Why should I? My business never carried debt before lockdown. You know, I haven't got any debt. I've got a well-run business. I employ 70 people. I look after them. And then we get this, and now I'm going to be, and now I've got to look at that year as my interest-free is the year where I've got to pay off this debt that I'm going back with, because I don't want to go over that year and then bang, pay the interest. So
Yeah.
is what we have to do. So for the first 6 months, it'll be kind of payback, you know,
Yeah.
which I think a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, it's. I think it's just shameful that we've been put in this position. And like, again, I've only got one salon, but it's painful when you're thinking that you've paid all this, and I just couldn't. They were just so, yeah, well, that's it. That's the decision we made. We're not going to pay you, and I just couldn't get my head around that. So, well, it's in there, you know. It's in there. I've got it. I've got the infectious diseases. And it's like, yeah, but the circumstances are that, and they said COVID-19 isn't a named disease. I said, yeah, it didn't exist. It didn't exist up until, you know, so it's an infectious disease though. Come on, you know, it's like they're trying to always get out of it, you know, and I think it's shameful and it's really bad. And I think Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, has said that they need to get their house in order and support small businesses to and pay these insurances, but they still refuse to. That is the power of the insurance companies. They can ignore government. They say, we're not doing it. You can't make us do it. Take us to court.
But it's like warranties, isn't it? You buy a car and like something goes wrong. Oh no, sorry, that's not covered in the warranty. So what is covered in the warranty? And when you get to the nitty gritty, nothing really. It's not worth the paper it's written on. So
yeah. Anyway, don't give them any more time. Insurance companies.
Shall we? Sorry, mate.
Your big excess anyway. So if you've got insurance, why have it? Because you've got big excess, 250, 500 quid, whatever excess. And then when it does come to paying out, they only pay out for part of it, or they only want to give you some, or that's not qualified, or whatever. It's just ridiculous, you know.
You've got to pay this new cover, which is like the in between of the insurance, just in case. Do you know what I mean? You crash your car. But if I crash my car, I've got my insurance and my warranty. No, that doesn't cover that. But yeah, so we're nearly done an hour, but there's just some little things that have gone in the comments that I want to highlight.
Yeah.
So you've got one of your mates, Bruno.
McIntyre's, yeah.
Gavin McIntyre, yeah.
Comments.
There was with Lee. So she brought this up. I'd love to have joined the Fame team, but found it too late. And I think they've changed the age restriction now, haven't they?
Yeah, so for Lee, it's no longer 30, is it?
I think you know, people that want to join the Fame team and they think they're too old. I would always say you're never too old in anything. And firstly, like Project X, there is no age cap on Project X, and that is virtually identical to the Fame team, except you don't have as big a PR machine behind you, because the Fame team is the golden nugget, but you still do the photo shoot, you still do working with all the icons. You don't get the trip to go abroad like the Fame team. But Project X, I've had many of my team have gone through Project X. Susie's gone through Project X, who's just come in as my Vardering team. Our team did Project X before he then went for the Fame team. So, you know, look, I'll give you an example. The Fame team is not everything. Dan Spiller went for the Fame team 3 times and got turned down 3 times. And then he had a year in 2010 where his nickname became Jesus, because every award he went into, he won. And he went into the finalist for Creative Head, and he was up against Chris Appleton, all ex-Fame team guys, and he was the only person that wasn't Fame team, and he won it. And I actually remember saying to him, "Who needs Fame team, Dan?" Yeah. So it's sometimes, you know, the Fame team is brilliant, but it's not the be all and end all. There are other ways to make the journey, and there's other paths to travel.
Yeah.
And Dan is a prime example of that. I mean, that year he won the It Boy, he won Newcomer at the BHAs, you know, he won Trend Vision. He did it all in a year. He literally was the Golden Balls. There was everything he did. And we nicknamed him Jesus because I said, if we go down to the beach, I'm sure he'll be working on water because he couldn't do no wrong. So, and I just think sometimes in your career, you have that luck. I mean, we've been so fortunate that 2014, the BHAs, was not only an amazing year for me because I went into the Hall of Fame, but we did the double because the second from last one of the night is our team and then it goes British. And we won our team as well for the second time. So it was like, oh my God. So I was celebrating as I with being in the BHA's Hall of Fame, but then we go and win artistic team for the second year. So sometimes these things happen, but then you can go a spell 3-4 years with nothing. So it's always the balance. It's a roller coaster, up and down, but you've got to enjoy it when you get the good times, and the bad times, forget about them quickly, in my opinion.
I want to just remind you, I want to just ask you one question, but because we've just come to the end of everything, that's an hour we've done. But I said to you, in the second week of lockdown, you should write a book. Have you started?
You know what? I've seriously thought about this book, and I've thought about the front cover of what I'm going to call it anyway. And it's going to be 50 grey hairs.
Yes.
And I think I've got to do this book under a false name, obviously, Ian. So, you know, obviously, you know, I've had a fantastic career in hairdressing. And obviously, I'm not finished. You know, I'm still in it for a bit longer yet. And definitely. I mean, but now I'm a lot more relaxed. I think before, when you're younger, like when you're Paul's age, I was chasing all the time. You know, you chase, you want, and I'd achieve that, and then I'd go on to the next. Now I'm in a position where I'm really content where I am at the moment, and I've got nothing to prove to anybody. You know, I mean, certain people said things on my Facebook like, you should have been this, you should have been that. And I said, you know what? I've actually had a great career. I'm happy with what I've achieved and what I've done. And, you know, there's better things now. I look enjoyment with my family, and this lockdown has really made me think differently. And I even thought at one point in this lockdown of retiring completely, because with business and everything, I thought, do I need this hassle?
Yeah.
Obviously, my daughter, my niece, my nephew, they're the next generation that are in hairdressing. I mean, Aaron's son is a brilliant young hairdresser. He's 19 and he's doing really well. My daughter is a Henley top colorist and working with me. Jasmine, Simon's daughter, she's a brilliant all-rounder and she's working in Dubai. In fact, she's back here working with us at the moment, doing all our systems and procedures and taking care of Instagram. So, you know, I'm going to be on, maybe not behind the chair as much, but I'll still be there as like the man churning the mix at the top, if you like. But I'm really
the Godfather, happy. Bruno, the Godfather, that's who you're going to be.
Sorry?
I said the Godfather, that's who you're going to be.
Yeah, well, that's what they nicknamed me at the fellowship when I left. They put up this huge picture and I walked in the hall on my last night to hand over, and there was this huge, you know, that black and white image of Al Capone, and they put me up and had Bruno, Marc, and I'll never forget it because Neil, the VT guy, he set me up, and I said, "What are you doing? It looks like I'm in everyone's face. I've done that." He said, "No, they all love you. They get it." I'm like, "Well, I didn't want it." It was like I felt it was a bit OTT, but then when I came to the stage and they introduced me, what music did they play? The Godfather. I walked up on the stage and I think that made me more nervous, that bit, and looking at that picture than actually me going up and doing my speech. But
I'm definitely.
Someone said to me the other day, give me. I'm really more relaxed now. I have a little bit of jitters, but nothing like I used to because I've been doing it for so long now.
Bruno, I'm definitely looking forward to the book. I can't
Thanks.
wait for it to come out. It's been over an hour. I want a signed copy.
Yeah, definitely.
We really appreciate you coming on, brother. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much, mate.
We definitely have to do it again because there's another chapter in this, I can tell you.
Well, there's so much we didn't cover. There was the sound threw me off slightly, but I'm sure like next time we'll get you on, we'll sort out the sound. But if you stay backstage, we'll have a little catch up once we log off. But again, we are back on Monday. We've got Jill Buck at 901 Salon in Beverly Hills. She's a celebrity hairdresser for Joico over at the salon. So she'll be there on Monday. And then we've got Sherry on Friday. Yeah. So we've got a good week next week as well. So again, thank you, Bruno. If you want to follow us on Instagram, Bruno Marc 10, and then you've seen ours every week. The Mindful Hairdresser.
Yes, the Mindful Hairdresser. Subscribe.
YouTube channel. It's growing. It's looking really good, mate. So yeah, thank you, everybody. And we'll see you on Monday at 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Awesome.